Welcome to Tapped In. My name is David Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and today we're going to be discussing private lessons, worth it or a waste of your time or money. I honestly wish that I had gotten the opportunity to do more private lessons coming up. At the time, I was new to the job that I was at. I was newly married. I just didn't have the disposable income to do private lessons. And now looking back at it, I think it would have jump-started a lot of things that I wanted to do. I did do a few because I had, I think, one or two, maybe three gifted to me. But I did not get to experience that the way I would have liked. And private lessons can be expensive depending on who you're getting them from. Sometimes the instructors, the gym has a solid pricing format. If you're a black belt, you charge this rate. If you're a first degree, third degree, fourth degree, you charge this rate, and so on down the line. So it can get expensive. Sometimes it can be something that holds people back. But overall, I think that it's a massive benefit to do a private lesson regularly. It doesn't have to be one-on-one. It doesn't have to be anything like all the time, which I'm going to go into. But it's hugely beneficial, and I'm hoping that this can help students gauge how they want to approach the subject and maybe get even more out of it than you would normally get if you went into it blind. So my opinion, the thing that holds people back is usually cost, time, pride. I think private lessons are not just for competitors. There seems to be a misconception that it's for people who are taking this quote unquote serious on a pro level. It's not. I think private lessons can compress the amount of time you're spending training. Like, I don't know what it is, but let's say a private lessons can equate to 3 months of just you wandering around, learning random techniques. The issue is that when you go to training, the training that you get isn't always specific to you. And you might be learning, for example, a week or two, some stuff that you're just not really passionate about. It doesn't fit into your game all that well. A private lesson changes that dramatically. It's completely specific to you, unlike a full class. When a private lesson to me is worth it, it's when you've hit a plateau and you need a little bit of direction. When you're feeling overwhelmed or don't feel like you have structure before a big event. Some people have belt tests. That's a great time to get a couple of private lessons in. Some people have a tournament that they have locked in. Great opportunity or time for a private lesson. I think maybe you're struggling understanding certain aspects of jiu-jitsu. Maybe you're new. That's a great time to get a private lesson. And maybe you need help formulating a game plan for yourself. It's not easy to do, especially early on, because you don't know everything that jiu-jitsu has. So you don't really know what to add and not add, if that makes sense. How to get the most out of jiu-jitsu private lessons for me is come with specific questions. Don't be super generic. If you're having issues finishing chokes from the back, let's go over that. If you're having issues passing the guard or passing a specific person's guard or a specific type of guard, those are all great lessons to be centered around. Coming in with a broad goal of, I just want to get better, doesn't quite help, especially an instructor who, if you're taking a lesson from someone who doesn't know you very well, that's not going to be helpful. If I know you and I've been your instructor for a while, there's things that I can definitely suggest. So if a student comes to me and is like, hey, I want to take a private lesson, but I don't know what to ask or what to cover, do you mind leading it? I'll look at their game. I'll look at things that they're doing, and I'll come up with a couple of things that I want to cover. And then sometimes that sparks questions. Sometimes that sparks avenues that will go down as we cover that material. That's okay as well. But private lessons work best when you're super engaged in a problem you're having and it's a bit more specific. That way I can feed you what you need, and then you can go out and start trying to get that fixed early. Like, there's an incentive for you because you're tied into that problem, and that problem is identified by you. I suggest filming the private lesson if at all possible. Some people don't like this. Some instructors will shy away from it. They do not want anything filmed. In my opinion, it is your hour. You paid for that hour. Why would I rob you of the opportunity of filming it and getting the most out of it? So if you want to set up a tripod, set it up. The other thing I often will ask is towards the end, is there anything that you want me to review again so that you can film the technique quickly? And I'll offer that. Anything you can take, anything extra that I can give you, I'll give you. It doesn't make any sense for me to withhold your ability to get the maximum out of what you just paid for and saying, oh, you should be able to record it, record the entire thing. Take notes immediately after. Some students will bring a notebook and they'll take notes during. Nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes it maybe slows the process down a little bit. Keep that in mind. Ask for homework or drills. This is something I don't think many people really consider. I came from a gym, my first gym, where my instructor gave us homework regularly. And so I'm used to that style. When I went to the gym that I got my black belt from, I was there from blue to black. I didn't get any homework. Like I didn't get any, I rarely got an assessment. So coming from that other gym and having an instructor that would give homework, I knew how vital that was. So anytime I am training with someone, I will often give homework randomly. There's something that I see that they're not doing well. Hey, for the next month, I want you to do this. There's something that I'm seeing that they're doing really well, but maybe they're relying too heavy on it. Hey, for the next 6 weeks, you're not allowed to do that. Stuff like that. But when it comes to a private lesson, I will actually give you, hey, for the next week, I want you to implement something that we went over, and then I want you to get back to me. And then you are going to have some questions. I want you to remember the questions. I want you to remember the details of why the questions are an issue for you. And then I want you to bring that back to me. We're going to assess. I'm going to give you some answers based on that so you can continue down the path. I don't want you stuck and feeling like, oh, the private lesson was a waste of time. So I want you to have homework and I want you to be actively engaged in the lesson that I just gave you so it means more and it has more life to breathe and to grow into. Revisit the same topic every 2 to 3 sessions to go deeper. Some people do this, some people don't. I've had students who will get a private lesson and each one is different. Perfectly fine. And then I've had students that do a private lesson and it builds one on the next, which is also perfectly fine. It's really based on the student. Some people are trying to build certain aspects up. And I took a lesson in July, but then it's September and I've found new problems unrelated to that. So it makes perfect sense to just cover whatever it is that you're having issues with. Ways to make a private lesson more affordable. You can share the lesson with a trusted partner. I have done this 2 ways. I've done it where I split it directly in half, 30 minutes one, 30 minutes for the other. Gets a little complicated sometimes. And then I've done it where the 2 people are studying the same thing. So then I could just do the lesson as I normally would, and then they drill on each other and I correct. That's my preferred. Not that I am completely against it, but having a private lesson with one person and not having a drilling partner, I don't think you get as much out of it as you can. So anytime you can bring a friend, regardless of whether they're going to pay half or not. Getting a training partner involved is a huge asset. But if you're trying to save costs, do the fee with a partner, preferably same lesson. On that note, you can also look at doing small groups. Oftentimes, instructors are willing to allow 3 or 4 people together, and it's small enough that the private lesson feel doesn't disappear, but it's well enough, or the cost is spread between 3 or 4 people. So it's a little cost effective on the student side. It's not a drain on the instructor. and everyone's happy and everyone's getting better. So look into those. The other thing you can do is buy like package deals of 3, 4, 5 lessons together. Instructors will usually chop off a percentage and allow for the package deal and give a discount. The only issue is you normally have to pay for that upfront, and if you don't fulfill the lessons, that's sort of on you. But it's an option, and if you have extra disposable income. Again, I did not at the time. You can also ask for shorter sessions. Instead of paying for a full hour, you can do 30 minutes. And one, it's kind of helpful on the instructor side. He doesn't have to spend as much time sitting. And some people actually benefit from the shorter periods because they get just enough to cover and work on for the next couple of weeks, months, whatever it might be. So that's always an option. I think most instructors are okay with it. You can also schedule some time after class. Let's say you're doing a 30-minute session. You already have the instructor there. Hey, do you mind if we do this quick session? And I'll pay for it as a private lesson. Always a benefit. Instructors sometimes hate coming back to the gym. And if you can do it then, it's beneficial. And lastly, I have heard just 1 or 2 people do this. Is a sliding scale. Ask if your instructor will be willing to charge you less. I saw a post recently on social media. I can't remember what her name was, and it bugs me. But she actually had a sliding scale based on your income or what you can pay. And I can see the pros and cons of that. I can see pros as in you're helping more people. And I can also see people who are going to lowball you. You lowball your expertise simply so they could pay less. And I can see most people will probably pay what they think is fair. So it's an interesting concept. Some instructors will do it. Mind you, that is if the gym does not have a policy on private lessons. I'm at a gym that sets the price if you're using the gym. So keep that in mind. And the other thing I think people should consider is asking for add-ons. And what I mean by that is, can I get a video recap, or can I get a list of drills that I can do? Can I get a written down breakdown of what we went over? Not something I see very often, but I think people should ask. Do you offer follow-up Q&As? I personally will check on a customer who had about a week or 2 out. Hey, how's everything going? Are you having any issues? Do you have any questions? So I completely allow Q&A afterwards. There's no limit on how many questions. There's no limit on time. If you bought a private lesson from me, please ask. Come back. Hey, I'm now having this issues. And if the questions are quick, I'm super responsive and I offer suggestions. If it's super involved, then we should probably do another private lesson. Closing out, I really think that if you can afford it, if you can find some friends to maybe split that cost, it's a massive benefit. It gets you focused on things that you should be more focused on, opposed to kind of like being in a giant sandbox and kind of just making your way haphazardly through it. I think that it gives you more of the answers that you're seeking without having to figure it out on your own. I think that it also helps keep you accountable. It helps keep you engaged because now you have skin in the game. You're paying for this extra training. So I think it's beneficial. There is no downside unless you're just not going to pay attention and you're not going to incorporate any of it. If you're that kind of person, so I probably would say don't pay for it, just like anything else. But if you generally want to get better and you're going to spend some time into it, private lessons are a great way to go. Lastly, one thing I forgot to mention on the add-ons, I personally record your round at the end of the gym or at the end of the private lesson, whether it's with me or your training partner. And then I give you a video breakdown of that rolling session. I find it hugely beneficial. I find that I don't do it at an extra cost. And most students are super happy just for that alone. And so if there's anyone that's on the fence about doing a private lesson with me and you're like, oh, is it really worth it? I highly suggest doing it. I'm detailed, I'm organized, and that video review is massive. Anyways, if you have any questions, suggestions, needs a little bit of guidance, my DMs are always open. Ask me any questions you have. DFM.2099 Instagram on Threads. If you want to work with me, private lessons, remote coaching, video review, seminars, workshops, dfmcoaching.com. Thank you so much.